In this video we're going to show you a step-by-step tutorial on how we apply our Zebu chamois grips to our Zebu sticks. Here we have a 36.5 inch drag flick Zebu stick with the original white grip on it. To start with, we're going to want to take the protective plastic layer off the grip. This should either slide off nicely or unwrap like so. Our chamois grips come in many different colours. Here we have a selection of white, black and red. Once you have chosen your colour, you will need to take it out of the packet and unfold the grip. We are going to be wrapping the stick from the top down to create an overlap. However, if you prefer an underlap, then the process is exactly the same. You just need to start at the bottom of the grip, not the top. Make sure you line the top of the chamois right in the middle of the grip, where the stick grip meets the stick cap. You are going to want to hold it firmly in place with your left thumb and pinch down on that as you pull the right hand side tight. You're going to want to make sure the first lap is as square as you can, remembering to hold this part of the grip still. You want to overlap it so that you can pinch the outside of the first layer, keeping everything in place. If you're not pulling your chamois tight enough when you begin to wrap it, you're going to quickly find that you're going to get a lump in your grip. By a lump in your stick, it is this part here where you are overlapping and it becomes folded. To prevent this from happening, you're going to have to unwrap a few rotations and make sure you're pulling really tightly before you continue. Once you are 3 to 4 wraps in, it will become quite easy for the rest of the way down the stick. On the grip, we are trying to leave about 2mm overlap on the layer above. Our Zebu grips are much longer than other brands. This is so that our players have the option to have their grip much longer than they normally would. The longer you want your grip, the more you wrap it before you cut the end. Once you reach the end of the grip, we suggest you wrap it a couple of times around the grip so when you tape it, it won't damage the original grip underneath. Remember to be pulling it tightly and wrapping evenly. So on this stick we have about this much chamois left over and we don't need it for the rest of the stick. Once you are happy with the length, we are now going to cut our chamois. To do this, we will unwrap the grip about half a rotation and make a mark with our thumb in the centre of the grip. This is where we want to begin our cut. We then lay our stick horizontally across our lap and cut the grip diagonally downwards like so. You're going to need a nice sharp pair of scissors and make sure you are holding the chamois tight as you cut. We are then going to wrap it as tightly as we can one last time until the diagonal part is pressed against the stick. You're going to want to hold this as tightly as you can so the grip doesn't come undone as we get our tape. You have two choices of tape, stick tape or electrical tape. Both work well and it's personal preference. Electrical tape is easier to work with, so that's what we're going to use for this example. You are going to want to place the tape half on the grip and half on the stick. We like to wrap the tape twice around the stick, but one layer is more than enough. Finally, do the same at the top of the stick and tape that up too. Make sure that you wrap the tape in the same direction that you wrapped your chamois grip. And that's it, that's our Zebu grip all done. Now there are a couple of tips if you're struggling to grip your chamois successfully. If you are struggling to start this overlap bit at the top and it keeps slipping away as you're trying to pull it tightly, then you can cut the top into a diagonal like we did at the bottom, but remember to make sure that this diagonal is diagonally upwards for the top of the stick, not diagonally downwards. We can then tape this diagonal to the stick to allow us to get a nice tight start. Our last tip would be to completely soak the chamois in water before you apply it. This will allow it to shrink slightly when it dries and get a much tighter grip on the stick.